It's time to mind your business with me, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda business starts here. So welcome to Mind Your Business. I am your host, Jamillah Lodge, and I am so pleased to have you here, Kiuntae Smith, owner of Feminine Touch Painting. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Of course.
It's definitely an honor to be on this show for sure, and be able to kind of give my true journey and walk of, what kind of like how I got started to where I am today and what I foresee in the future for Feminine Touch.
Okay. So before we get started with that, your journey, talk to me a little bit about yourself, like how you even got started in this field, but even before that.
Well, first of all, I'm like pretty much outgoing. Always been outgoing. I would feel to say that those that know me would say that I'm very charismatic, for one. For two, hardworking, lovable, and just kind of like all-rounded, family-oriented.
Okay.
So, and like I said, like growing up, I was a tomboy, so I was always around the guys, always wanted to be around that. So I would just say, like, as I got older, I kind of always stuck to that. And I never, ever, ever saw myself dressing up in a dress with a skirt on, with like 3-inch heels, talking about I'm going to a desk, so I've always been around men and always worked in male-dominated industries.
Okay. So when you say male-dominated industries, what does that include?
Like more so like blue-collar worker.
Got you.
Hands-on. So for that, my journey, I did landscaping. I've worked at Balco in the mechanics department. I worked at Air Care in the service department as well, also in installations. Okay. So those jobs right there alone just kind of, you're always working with your hands. You're working outside, again, working around men.
Yes.
So that's what's kind of like led me here today. And then also, I think from me being young and being the youngest, being the tomboy, I think I always just kind of wanted approval from my father.
Okay.
And wanted to make him happy. And growing up, that's all I knew my daddy to do was paint. So I think I got a little bit of inspiration from him to start painting. And then I just saw the joy that it also brought him.
Seeing you following his footsteps, huh?
Yeah, so in my mind, I'm like, is this going to make him proud? Is he going to be happy? Aww. But I think that after a while, when I figured out that I was really good at this, I kind of, carved my own path.
Okay.
And that's what's led me here today.
Awesome. So when you were working in those blue-collar kind of male-dominated industries, I'm sure you were probably like one of one or one of few. How did you kind of navigate that? Because that is interesting that that's where you thrive. That's where you enjoy being. But what was the reception like from your male counterparts? Did they be like, well, what's she doing here? Or were they embracing?
I personally feel it was a mixture of both. Okay. It was a mixture of, I was embraced because for one, I never have to be anybody different than who I am. I always show up as my authentic self, always. And I think that's appreciated to anybody because they feel the realness, right? And I just feel for me, it was never really a struggle. Okay. Yeah, it was never really a struggle because I always already had that formed, and at times it does get hard because being in that male-dominated industry, you have to work twice as hard. You have to show them why you belong there, why I deserve to be her. Yeah. And I just at first it used to irritate me because I'm just like, well, what makes us different? Our private parts?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was more so just like, well, I'm going to show them why I deserve to be her.
Right.
And I personally feel that, like they say, that respect is just not given, is earned.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, I earn the respect of every man anytime I walk into the environment of man. Mm-hmm. And they also see the work ethic behind it. When I tell you I work hard, if not harder, so I just think that after a while, it becomes like, whoa, like, yo, this girl deserves to be, she's better than, like, you know what I mean? It kind of feels as if like, now they feel like, oh God, like I'm gonna be competing with this girl, when that's not even really the case. I'm just here to do what I love to do, mm-hmm. and just show up as my true self. That's it.
Okay. Well, listen, you're here now.
I am.
So now we're going to be talking about feminine touch painting. Mm-hmm. So you did say that your dad was a painter.
Yes.
So did he have his own business too?
No, he's always worked for other people.
Okay.
But he's also still did his own work,
like on the side.
Or just occasionally, like whenever somebody saw him and said, hey, I need this done, or hey, I need that done, then he would take time to go ahead and do what he's got to do.
Okay. So you now want to follow in his footsteps, and you're like, okay, I think I can do this, but then realize that you were really good at it.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to start your own business doing it?
Well, back in 2024, I was made redundant from Balco, and prior to me being made redundant, I already had it in motion, because I remember talking to one of my friends there, and I'm just like, I need to find something else that's going to create a revenue of money for me, mm-hmm. not just having one source of income. Like, I wanted to kind of create more sources of income for myself.
Right.
So I'm just like, you know what? I'm good at painting. And he was like, you know what? Like, you're good at painting. Why you don't do this? And I'm just like, I am. And it's like, you're not being serious. You're not serious. And I'll be honest, I am a type of person that starts things and don't finish them.
Okay.
So I think that I was scared, to be very honest. Yeah. I think that the insecurity started to come afloat, mm-hmm. and also the self-doubt. Mm-hmm. And I think those things played a part. But you know what they say, that when it's God's will, if you listen, if you're not moving, He's going to push you. And that's exactly what happened. The redundancy, I was sad about it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like, look what came about.
Yeah.
So that's
pushed
kind
you
of
right into your purpose, right?
It pushed me face on. And here I am today, and I couldn't be more happy that I took this path that I did, because it's led me to so many different opportunities, meeting new people, mm-hmm. Networking and connecting with like-minded people. So, the redundancy was probably the best thing that ever happened to me. Sometimes we don't understand why things happen. Mm-hmm. And it's just for God to show us that, hey, I had this waiting for you. Yeah. That door was supposed to close for this one to open. So that's kind of like, yeah.
I love that, because especially when you're thinking about starting business, it can be difficult, and it is scary.
It's very scary, because I am built off of stability, mm-hmm. And in life, I had read this quote, and it stuck with me. It said that in life, you have two journeys, mm-hmm. one that's already paid for you and one that you paid for yourself. Mm. And I'm not even gonna lie, at the age of 7, I remember telling myself that you are gonna be successful and you're gonna have your own business. I didn't know what exactly it was, but hello, it's all came out to this.
So you were manifesting it at 7. I love that.
At 7 years old, like, who would have thought? So again, it's very, very, very scary, because you don't know your next moves. And then the competition that's out there. And then how the economy's going. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So many different things. But to be very honest, I had the support God was number one of it all. And secondly, I had support of my wife. I remember when I called her and said hi, because I went back to Balco after the redundancy.
Okay.
And I went into a different position. And I wasn't there long, because I just felt it within my spirit.
That it wasn't right.
That it wasn't right, because I already had started the movement with feminine touch.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Why am I doing this? Yeah.
Again, you're starting something and you're not finishing it. Mm-hmm. So I made that promise to myself. I said, you know what? Skirt and all, faith over fur. Mm-hmm. I called her. I said, hi, I am putting my letter of resignation here now, and I'm done. She's like, okay. She didn't fight. She didn't do any of that. So that just reiterated to me that this is the right decision. Yes.
Yeah, and it's nice to have that support, right?
Yes.
So at the very least, that's I think the scariest part about starting a business is the fact that you don't have that stability.
Yeah.
Like, you got to start out.
You don't know where that money's coming from.
Yes.
You don't know how you're going to make it, where the clients are coming from. But honestly, throughout this journey, my faith has grew tremendously. Yes.
Yeah. I love that's beautiful.
Yes.
That you're saying that. So let's talk about the name, Feminine Touch.
Feminine Touch. Oh my God. So with Feminine Touch, I kind of wanted it to represent women in power.
Yes.
You know, I wanted it to represent knowing that this is a female. Mm-hmm. You know, a man's going to read that card and be like, well, we already know that ain't no man.
Yeah.
You know, so I wanted the name to be sort of kind of like self-explanatory. And it's basically to encourage other women, you know, like to don't be scared. Mm-hmm. Go out and do what you need to do. Women also deserve to be her as well as men, you know. So I just needed the name to represent something. And then on top of that, like they say, you know, it's a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing without a female, right? So females kind of put the final touches on everything. Mm-hmm. We bring everything together. And I wanted my business to represent that for females. Mm-hmm. I wanted females to feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. You know, think about it. You call a man to come into your house. You don't know who this man is. You don't know his background. You know, it kind of builds a sense of tension. Mm-hmm. And I want females to feel, you know, warm. I want them to feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the experience that I bring.
Okay.
And, you know, I can't beat you. I will walk into your house and be like, oh, cool. I can lay off, like, I'm straight, you know, because that's what we need. We need
it's
something.
Creating a level of comfort.
Yes, we need something different rather than somebody just coming in and saying, hey, I'm just going to come in here and paint your walls. No. Right. Feminine Touch comes in and they give you an experience. Mm-hmm. We get very personable with people. And the goal for it is to build, you know, longevity, to build relationships, to build more of like a family unit, you know? So, yeah, that's pretty much like what Feminine Touch really represents. And then it's just like the name it's just spicy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
I think it's spicy because it's Feminine Touch and it's related to, like you said, a typically male related industry.
Yes.
Like, you do painting, but you do other things too. Talk to me about some of the other services that you provide.
So one of the services that I provide is I do masonry. Mm-hmm. I learned that because I remember one time, and I am a Virgo. If anybody knows Virgos, it's like you cannot tell a Virgo that they can't do something. What? They're gonna say, oh, okay, cool, because now I'm gonna have to just show you.
Right.
So when it came to the masonry, I kind of wanted to basically have a overall rounded knowledge of things.
Okay.
So that when I came into these spaces, I don't have to call nobody else.
Right.
It's like, well, this is what I do. So that it kind of just adds a touch to what I do outside of just painting. It was difficult, right? Because when I tell you the first time I did it, I was trying to perfect it. I was on Google. I was calling people, you need to come up here. You need to see this wall. You know, I kind of shocked myself, but the more you practice something, the more you become bad at it.
Yeah.
So that's one of the services that I provide. I also provide wood restoration as well.
Okay.
So if you have any old furniture that you want to be restored and you need it to come back to life, I know that a lot of people have sentimental pieces.
Yes.
And things that, like, I know I dealt with one client. she had a sentimental piece that her grandfather had left her. And she was like, oh my God, it's in bad condition. And I can't throw it away. It just holds too much value.
Right.
And I was like, don't worry. Feminine touches her
Yeah.
to put the restoration on it. And yeah, so I do that. A bit of power washing, nothing too crazy. And what else do I do? And I just basically transform your spaces. Okay. Yes.
So in terms of the connection that you have with the client, like what does that whole thing look like? If I book you, what experience do I get from picking you over some other painting service?
Well, I personally feel that from my experience, from getting feedback from other customers to when I come in, like, again, like I said, I want to build an experience. I want to understand, why you're doing what you're doing. What is the story behind what you're doing? So I get very personable with people and make people feel comfortable and also give advice. I know that when some people come in, they're just like, well, I want my wall painted blue, and they're like, okay, cool, whatever.
Right.
They paint that wall and they're out. But me, I will come in and say, okay, cool, well, you want that wall painted blue, but then let's look at the surroundings of this area. Your couch is red. You got gray floors. So I kind of give advice. I bring a different type of contrast to people. And overall, I just bring a sense of comfort to people. Okay. So I would say that that's what makes me different. And then on top of that, I'm female.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I think that a lot of people actually love that. Especially women. They get excited because they see, oh my God, a female. Yes, girl, I had to call you because we need more of this. We need more females out here to kind of shake things up, right? So for me, that's kind of like that
makes you unique.
Yes.
Your differentiating factor.
Yes.
I love that you take the time to have that conversation initially, because you're absolutely right. Sometimes you just want your wall to be a certain color, but how is it going to impact the rest of what you're doing? Maybe you're getting new furniture and you haven't even considered how it's going to look. So I do think that is an important piece that sometimes people miss.
Exactly. And then on top of that, just because you can paint a wall or use a paintbrush doesn't make you necessarily a painter. It's so many things that go beyond the surface. It's understanding and having the knowledge of, what to do in certain situations. We live in an island, and we live in an island that is very humid. Yep. The climate is very different, very hot. It could be very damp. So going into these places as well, I think also what I bring is a sense of security of knowing that when I do my job, I do it beyond, because I come in and I take that job on like it's my own house. Right. And I think that people can appreciate that because, for one, people want to know where their money's going.
And they want it to last.
Exactly. So for me, I'm doing the full scope with you. I see that you got bubbles. I see that your wall is intruding. I see these different things. And I'm just like, okay, let's start from the top. Because what a lot of people don't realize that, you're getting all this moisture and my walls are starting to crumble. Help me. And I'm just like, okay, let's start with the roof. Maybe it could be a crack on the roof. Or let's take a walk outside. Let's look for
where the moisture is getting
exactly openings. So, and I remember having a client like that where they're like, oh my God, nobody's did this with me. Nobody has walked around with me to say, let me go up on your roof to make sure you don't have no cracks. That we're now doing process of elimination. So, to have that and to give that, it makes customers feel like you are the one for the job. And I'm like in my head, duh. I just waited for you to tell me.
Like, I been knew that, but
I had to just play it cool. But I'm like, okay, when you gonna say yay? Like, but I enjoy it. I really enjoy it because it just makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I pride myself with a reputation.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the reputation that, you build for yourself because you're building a brand.
Yes, absolutely.
And a brand speaks specifically on the experience you give people, the work that you do. So all these things like really make a difference rather than just coming in and just saying, I paint the wall
and then out, right.
See you later.
And then in 2 months, the bubbles come back or whatever because they haven't addressed the underlying problem. So in terms of all the other things as an entrepreneur, so the painting is one thing, but how do you manage the other things? The marketing, the accounting, how do you go through that process? Because sometimes that could be the thing that, wrecks a business.
Yes. I guess that's just where you put on so many different hats, right? And I think the best thing for me in a situation like this is to kind of set the expectation for myself, try to be more transparent with people, and pretty much hold myself to a standard. And what I mean by that is, again, it brings you back to being the Virgo.
Yeah.
I can do this. I can do that. But I just know at times, like, we have to know where our strengths are and where our weaknesses are. And that's when I know what hats to wear. When it comes to marketing, I ask for help now. Before I'm like, oh, please, like, I'm just going to do a video, put it up. But honestly, getting that good criticism from other people looking in, I've taken advice from that. And, I do have somebody that comes in every so often to say, like, hey, let me come with you today to do the video so that you're not having to get up. You're turning it around and doing all those things. And then when it comes to the accounting aspect of it, I let my wife deal with that because she's good with all that. She's always like, you're not doing this right. Oh, God, move out the way. Yeah. So, but at the same time, I had to tell her, like, this is something that I have to learn because you're not always going to be accessible to me when I need you at times. It might be times where you got to do something else. So I think all these things are good for me to kind of, learn so that I know that, okay, I'm not going to be lazy today. Let me take it on because I don't have nobody right now to take that on. But I feel as I keep evolving and I get bigger, then I think that I can bring in other people to take on different tasks. But for now, it's pretty much just my faithful friends, myself, my sisters, and my wife. And I think that's what's making the dream team.
Okay. Well, look, I love a dream team, and you need a dream team.
You do. Yes, you do.
Because people say, as entrepreneurs, you're a chief everything officer, right? So you do have to do the other things. But I think what you said about recognizing when you need the support is important.
It is.
And it could be the difference between winning and losing, really, because your expertise is in the painting and understanding all of that. And like you said, you need the help with the accounting. Your wife is there to support you with that. But at some point, like you say, when you grow,
you're gonna need it. And I would say that was probably one of my biggest downfalls, is thinking that I can manage everything, thinking I can do everything, even with the workload. As I have grown to where I am today, it's like, okay, I need a call on people now to come and do it because, because the business is growing and it's growing beautiful, clap for that.
Yes.
The demand is getting more bigger.
Yeah.
So with the demand getting bigger, remember, I'm just one person. Yeah. I cannot be pulled her. And that's where you kind of like exert yourself. And I don't want to do that. So I just know that asking for help, unfortunately, has been something that like is like
you struggle with.
Because it's just like,
nobody's gonna do it like you do it, right?
Like, and I want to give that. I want to give myself to everybody, but I'm learning to know that I can't.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's booking me, they're like, oh, I thought I thought I was going to see you.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, but I do follow up.
Okay.
You know, so
you have a team that helps you with the painting and that you're grooming. Yeah.
Yeah, on call. Like, if it's something that I know where it's like, okay, this job's massive.
Yeah.
And I need a crew, including myself, of 4 people, then yeah, I will bring in people that is experienced.
Right.
I bring in my daddy most times. Most times it's me and my daddy because we have the same work ethic.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have the same work ethic, and what I love about him is that I don't have to go behind him.
Because Because
I already know.
Yeah.
You know? And another thing that I love is it's the connection. It's not, for me, it's not like I'm just working. You know? It feels very sentimental to me to have him there because we're kind of similar. So I'm like, I'm gonna paint over her and you're gonna paint over her.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that I can bring him in and I'm learning from him.
Yeah.
So I think that's been like really helpful, and it's been nice.
So let me ask you this question before we wrap up. So for you, when you envision feminine touch in, let's say, 5 years or 6 years in the future, what does it look like?
Whenever I go into an interview and they ask me this question, I always, you know what I say to them? I don't even know how I'm going to make it tomorrow. But to be fair, what I see is me just continuing to evolve.
Okay.
And eventually, I really wanted to make feminine touch more of like an all female.
Yes.
Yes. That is the vision that I had when I was building the brand, when I was even looking to come out as a female painter. I really wanted it to reach other females. You know what I mean? Because
and you can do that.
Think about it. That would be like dominating to no power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To see all women. That's getting shut it down. Like, that's getting shut it down. So for me, I'm just like in hopes that is what I can bring together.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's just mastering my craftsmanship and being the best version that I can be, and just staying committed, you know, just staying committed and kind of venturing off outside of the walls, you know. I won't say too much because it's got to be a secret.
Okay, well, you got to come back and tell us then
of course
when you do it. Okay.
Just to you, but not to them. Because when it comes out, I wanted to feel like that's what you've been doing. Sometimes you can't give people the recipe of what you're cooking.
Okay.
Yeah, so
they just have to taste it and enjoy it.
They just gotta taste it and enjoy it and be like, oh my God, who made this? And it's just like, hello, that's what I've been doing. Couldn't tell you, but this is what I've been doing. So I would say honestly, the biggest thing for me, you know, coming into this business that actually keeps me afloat and reiterates to me like this is where I'm supposed to be, is like no risk, no reward. If I did not take that risk to say I'm leaving,
you wouldn't be here.
What reward would I have seen? So for me, it's all about just kind of planting the fruits and watching them grow.
I love that.
Pretty much, that's it.
I love that. So how can people follow up with you and book you?
So I actually have a website.
Okay.
It is Feminine Touch BDA, but BDA is in caps.
Okay.
.com. So that's my website. And it gives you a bit of insight of the work that I've done, which is wood restoration, exterior, interior, power washing, roofs. And then on top of that, you can basically shoot me an email. So it's a form on there that you can fill out. And it basically asks you what it is that you're inquiring about.
Okay.
And it also gives a timeline for people to let me know, like, I need this done, like, as soon as possible.
Right. So
when I see it come through, then I know.
Okay.
Because sometimes I can't always get to it because I am busy. But other than that, my Instagram, Feminine Touch, Facebook, Feminine Touch as well. And then on top of that, just word of mouth. You know what I mean? Like, check out my Instagram pages, check out my Facebook. Social media has been a big thing because at the end of the day, you know, sometimes we need those types of platforms to kind of showcase.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Showcase our work and kind of like what we're doing. So it's keeping people updated. But I know the other day I was so busy. I was just like, I have not posted in a while.
Yeah.
But honestly, the beauty of all of this is that word of mouth travels.
It really does.
Word of mouth
Especially in
travels
this industry.
fast. Exactly.
It's your work. Your work speaks for itself. And so if you've had a good experience with a customer, I'm going to ask somebody who they got to do their work before I go just
scouting around. Yeah. And then on top of that, I think the beauty of this as well is being able to just be engaging.
Yeah.
I'm painting outside. Somebody see me. And then when they see the final product, they're like, oh my God, let me get back to that girl before she finishes up.
Yeah.
And, business cards, giving out my business cards. And again, it's just kind of just networking. So when I am painting your house or anybody else's houses, like I still stay connected, because like I said, I want feminine touch to feel I'm gonna touch you. Like I'm gotta put my touch on you, you know what I mean? And like
that's the secret sauce.
That's stirring it up.
Look, it has been a pleasure having this conversation with you.
Thank you so much. I am so grateful to be here and be able to, encourage other females. Yes. And I hope that this actually reaches other people to pursue whatever it is that they want to pursue, like don't be scared. Just do it because we only got one chance at this.
That's right.
And, you don't take the risk of what it is that you want to do, then it's kind of just like live with regret.
Yes. And who wants
to do that?
Who wants that?
Like nobody wants to live with that regret. And I think like kind of speaking on my dad, I think that he regrets it. I think he's seeing me come in and he's just like,
that could have been me.
Who she thinks she is? Like, I could have long did this. Yeah. But, I mean, it just goes to show you, I think that with a new generation, and what I love about this generation is that we take risks. We're taking that chance to say, hey, we're jumping down there. We don't know if we're going to land on our feet. Yeah. We don't know if we're going to survive it. But, hey, we're going to take that jump. Yeah. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to you. Thank you to Andrea, my sister, for believing in me, my wife, just everybody that has, supported my business from my existing clients to new clients. And I'm just very excited to see, what the future holds with Feminine Touch. But I know it's going to be big because I'm invested in it. Yeah. Like I said, I start things and don't finish.
You finishing this one.
I'm finishing this to the damn end. You know what I mean? So
I love it.
I have to see it through.
Yes. And you will. You're doing it. We're right here. You're doing it. You spoke your vision. You manifested at 7. So you manifested that future vision. So I know it's going to happen for you.
It's definitely going to happen. But
thanks for minding your business with me today.
That I am minding my business.
You are. And remember, if you don't, who will?
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with me, your host, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.